This painting was created in 1972 and, over more than 40 years, has become surrounded by sinister rumors. Everyone who saw it supposedly felt anxiety or even experienced panic attacks. Those who dared to buy the painting were said to have gone mad or died under mysterious circumstances. No reliable evidence has ever been found to confirm its supposed negative influence, yet it has earned a reputation as a cursed painting. The Hands Resist Him by Bill Stoneham. Bill Stoneham is a surrealist painter. He creates artworks that feel like scenes from a movie, prompting viewers to wonder what happened to the characters before and after the depicted still frame. Stoneham had just turned 20 when his studio was visited by a well-known art collector named Charles Feingarten. He simply took out his checkbook and bought every painting I had, the artist recalls. Among them was The Hands Resist Him. Bill said the inspiration for the painting, which would later bring him worldwide attention, came from a poem written by his first wife, Roan. Stoneham never knew his biological parents, as he was adopted as an infant. Roan's poem was dedicated to that very part of his life story. At the time, I had an old family photo album, Bill recalls. There were a few photos of me, and one of them fascinated me deeply. It showed young Bill standing next to a neighborhood girl who had turned her face away from the camera. Stoneham was mesmerized by the light that fell upon the two children. When creating the painting based on that image, he tried to preserve every vivid detail that had struck him, from the lighting to the overall mood. Yet, as a true surrealist, Stoneham added a few new elements that introduced an unsettling undertone to an otherwise ordinary suburban scene. Most notably, in the artist's interpretation, the little girl became a lifeless doll with jointed limbs. The boy's expression is eerily strange, and the cold, direct stare of his dark eyes seems to pierce the soul of anyone who looks at the painting. Upon closer examination, the most disturbing element appears: a multitude of hands pressed against the glass behind the boy and the doll. Together, these details create an atmosphere of deep unease. However, this effect emerges only if one views the painting without knowing the story behind it. In truth, Stoneham insists there is nothing supernatural or frightening about The Hands Resist Him. The painting, he explains, reflects the inner world of an adopted child, someone who knows nothing of his past and has no idea what the future holds. The hands behind the glass merely symbolize the countless uncertain possibilities such a child sees before him. It was one of the artist's earliest works, immature and at the time not particularly significant to him. That's why he easily parted with it in the 1980s when a private collector purchased nearly all his paintings for a modest price. In 2000, Bill Stoneham was checking his email when he found a message from an unfamiliar sender. It contained only one question: "Do you know The Hands Resist Him?" Bill replied that The Hands Resist Him was both the title of a poem by his first wife and a painting he had created back in 1972. The sender turned out to be Kim Smith, an art gallery owner from Michigan who had recently purchased Stoneham's painting. He had found it on an online auction, one of the first in eBay's history, which attracted worldwide attention thanks to its unusual description. The anonymous seller had warned potential buyers that he assumed no responsibility for what might happen to anyone who owns this painting. "This artwork may possess a mysterious power capable of affecting your life," he wrote. That statement sparked a wave of fascination that would turn The Hands Resist Him into one of the most famous and notorious paintings of modern times. The anonymous seller, as it turned out, was a married couple. They had discovered the painting in an abandoned brewery. How it got there remains unknown, took it home and hung it in their daughter's bedroom. Soon, strange things began to happen, like scenes from a horror movie. One morning, our 4-year-old daughter insisted that the children in the painting had been fighting during the night and had come into her room, they wrote. The father was so disturbed by her story that he set up a motion-activated camera in the bedroom to see what was really happening. Interestingly, the couple claimed not to believe in the paranormal and said they were trying to find rational explanations, or at least pretended to. This only fueled the internet's curiosity. Visitors to the eBay page claimed that simply viewing the painting caused strange things to happen in their own lives. The hype grew day by day, and the price jumped from 119 to 1,005. The buyer was Kim Smith, who was looking for artworks to display in his newly renovated gallery. Of course, most internet users had no idea about the real story behind the painting. Instead, many began searching for proof of its supposed supernatural power. Some even conducted investigations that linked the painting to a series of mysterious deaths among its owners and those associated with it. In 1978, art critic Henry Seldis, who had written about Stoneham's work, committed suicide. His friends said he had been struggling with severe depression. 3 years later, collector Charles Feingarten passed away. By that time, he had already sold the painting to American actor John Marley, known for playing Jack Waltz in The Godfather. Marley didn't keep it for long. He passed it on to another owner and soon after, in 1984, died during surgery. Of course, all of this is nothing more than an internet horror story. There is no factual evidence linking these tragedies to the painting. Yet, in the early 2000s, such chilling tales were still a novelty online, and the public, unaccustomed to digital-era legends, received them with genuine fascination. Riding this wave of mystery and collective intrigue, Bill Stoneham suddenly found himself famous. His once obscure painting had become a full-fledged pop culture phenomenon. Some enthusiasts begged the artist to create a replica of the haunted painting, but Stoneham refused. Instead, he began producing new works that served as a kind of continuation of The Hands Resist Him. In 2004, he completed Resistance at the Threshold. The scene is similar, but now the boy has become a middle-aged man, and the doll floats in the air, her mask falling away. New details, like giant insects, amplify the feeling of unease. Though it didn't cause the same uproar, Resistance at the Threshold drew even more attention to the original painting. In 2012, the protagonist, essentially the artist's alter ego, had aged even further. In Threshold of Revelation, he appears as an old man bending over a pool of water. This work reflects the passage of time and is filled with a sense of life rather than fear. Beside him stands a real girl holding a doll's mask. The image echoes Stoneham's own life. Just before painting it, he had reunited with his biological sister, whom he had never known. Tragically, she passed away soon after he completed the work. The final painting in the series appeared in 2017, titled The Hands Invent Him. This time, we see part of the original painting from a new perspective. The artist invites viewers inside the world behind the window. Alongside the boy, we now stand on the other side of the glass, looking out at the figures of the child and the doll. A broken floor, a rusted bicycle, faces peering from beneath the boards, eerie dream catchers, and branches piercing the walls. The world inside the room feels even more oppressive than the one outside. Today, Bill Stoneham still receives emails from around the world asking about The Hands Resist Him. Journalists continue to request interviews, though he no longer feels much enthusiasm for them. "Sure, I could go on radio or TV and make up all sorts of stories," he says with a smile. When asked to appear on shows, he usually replies with a single question. What is it you want? The truth. The artist fondly recalls how once a young man insisted that everyone who looked at the painting would soon die. "Over the years, I've had plenty of laughs about all that," Stoneham admits. "Thank you for watching till the end. What do you think about these paintings? Share your impressions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.